On January 1st, 1942, the Tennessee Valley Authority began construction on what is now Fontana Dam, a 480-foot tall hydroelectric dam that at the time was constructed to create power for the unpublicized nuclear projects that were taking place during World War II. In 1941, the Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, and the Aluminum Company of America, Alcoa, signed the Fontana Agreement, which gave all powers and authority over the TVA for the future use of the dam in emergency wartime needs. Fontana Dam can produce 293 megawatts of power if all three generators, or turbines, are running. This is a huge amount of power, especially during the time in which it was built. Seeing as most of the surrounding area of Fontana Dam didn't have electricity, the location was chosen as a perfect cover for the massive amounts of energy being produced for the use of the nuclear project. However good the cover-up was, the fact that the surrounding area did not have power made the problem of the base load a non-issue. Shortly after the dam was finished, efforts to bring power to the towns and villages that inhabited this part of eastern Tennessee began.
Located in Swain County, North Carolina, was a town once known as Judson. It was estimated to have a population of 600 residents. Geographically, Judson was located in a valley and the Tennessee River ran through the middle of the town. Some cemeteries and other town remains can still be seen along the edges of Fontana Lake, especially when the water level is low. Many businesses existed within the town of Judson. Some of these businesses and other structures included a barbershop, post office, railroad depot, sawmill, a school, 2 churches, and a corn mill. A few famous towns that were lost due to Fontana Lake included Proctor, Hazel Creek, and Ritter. The town of Proctor was built by William McClellan Ritter, who structured the W.M. Ritter Lumber Company in 1901. The town of Proctor had a school, post office, barbershop, a large depot, stores, as well as houses. Most of the structures in Proctor had running water that was delivered through large cement reservoirs. These cement reservoirs, stones, and bricks are pretty much all of what remains in Proctor today. Ritter wasn't actually a town, but it did consist of a few houses and a train depot. Ritter was the point where Hazel Creek met the Little Tennessee River as well as a railroad connection for logging the Hazel Creek area. Hazel Creek was a small town built for logging by W.M. Ritter Logging Company. Hazel Creek remains a secluded area within the Great Smoky Mountain National Park.
Many residents in the surrounding communities and towns were concerned about the effect the dam would have on the area. The Tennessee Valley Authority relocated families from the area that would be flooded for the dam, some of which were reluctant to leave their homes and land. Mrs. Callie Pilkington, the last landowner in Japan in Graham County, declared she would never be satisfied living anywhere else and that the dam would ruin the county. Harvey Welsh remembers his father coming home one day and telling him one fell off today. Welsh recalls his father saying he could hear the wind whistling in his breeches as he went by. There are rumors of workers falling into and being buried in the concrete of the dam. However, these are likely untrue since a body would create a weak spot in the structure and lead to instability of the entire dam. Most of those living and working at Fontana were unaware of the true purpose for the energy the dam would produce. Harvey Welsh remembers being told the electricity was for the aluminum production to build wartime aircraft. He said the village eventually became aware of the nuclear bomb project in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, after the culmination of World War II, to which Fontana Dam supplied electricity.
The workers on the dam came from 47 of the 48 states. This is a tremendous support from the nation to a project in the rural mountains of western North Carolina. While working, these individuals experienced danger, as was heard in the story of one falling off the dam. There was continual work and labor with people high in the air, as well as the use of powerful explosives. This memory of danger was outweighed by the idea of patriotism, which is the memory of the worker. The workers came from near and far to contribute to the war. Many who could not fight in the war came to the dam as their way of showing their patriotism. They built for freedom, which is why the patriotic memory became present. The workers were working for their country because their country had been so good to them. The story of Callie Pilkington, a resident of the underwater town of Japan, was already heard. The removal of this one individual was the cry of many local residents, whose land was basically stolen from them. They were paid a minimal amount for this land, with no other option but to leave. this land was their comfort and livelihood. It was their home. This removal left individuals homeless and penniless, which led to an overall feeling of resentment. This resentment is the memory of the citizens of these towns, which has spilled over into the descendants of these individuals. There was a promise to grant access to these towns exiled by the new reservoir. However, this was not kept. The road to nowhere was to replace Old 288, the road connecting these riverside towns. However, this road was never built. In fact, the national government did not compensate Swain County for its incompletion until 2010. Even with the $52 million payoff, there is still an air of resentment among the supporters of this road. These supporters are mostly the descendants of the citizens of the destroyed towns. Resentment is the memory from the viewpoints of the locals, with promises that are continually being broken. This dam was not a local or state project, but contributed in many ways on a national level. Yes, the local area received some power, however, a dam this size had to be supplying power to something else. Everyone knew this, but few knew where the power was really going. The workers were told it went to Alcoa, Tennessee, to build war aircrafts, which was true. However, a large portion of the electricity made its way to Oak Ridge, Tennessee, to help enrich uranium for the atom bomb. This led to the overall memory of the dam being ignorance is bliss. Just like most major government projects, there seemed to be conspiracy to Fontana Dam. Due to the patriotic aspect, people chose to stay ignorant to the true needing of electricity. The memory of ignorance is bliss hid this dam in the western North Carolina mountains and led to the development of the weapon that ended the war. Currently, Fontana Dam seems to be forgotten. Just like any major monument, the massive dam has receded into the mountains around it. What is the memory of Fontana Dam today? It is a major marker for Appalachian trail hikers, being the point where they ascend to the ridge line of the trail. Some tourists venture out of their way to see the pile of steel and concrete in the valley between two mountains. The dam is still the tallest dam east of the Mississippi, but that is not the memory. The memory of Fontana Dam is that it is being forgotten, which, if I had to guess, would have been the point from the very start.